Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to our playthrough of Arkham Horror 2nd Edition, where we're taking on Azathoth. Once again, I am recording this intro in the future. I'm using my computer microphone to do it. So when we last left off in part 1, Agnes had just been devoured, and we were about to replace our investigator. We have 4 seals on the board right now, but things are starting to get a little bit out of hand. So let's jump right in, and we'll meet Agnes's replacement in the upkeep phase. As you know, we had to swap out Agnes, so her replacement is Luke Robinson, the Dreamer. 7 sanity, 3 stamina, so he's basically the reverse Tony. Experienced Dreamer. Any phase, Luke gains 1 clue token each time he enters an otherworld area or is lost in time and space. And his heirloom, any phase, Luke's gate box can't be lost or stolen unless he allows it. And he starts off delayed in the Dreamlands. So we'll take a look at his gate box. Any phase, when you return to Arkham from an otherworld, you can return to any location with an open gate, not just those leading to the otherworld you were in. And then for his random possessions, he gets 2 spells. He starts off with his first spell up. Come on. Summon the Beast Within. Casting modifier -2, sanity cost 0. Upkeep. You may cast and exhaust to take an Inner Beast special card. If this card is exhausted at the start of your upkeep phase, you don't have to refresh it. Alright, the other spell he starts with is Plague of Locusts. Casting modifier -2, sanity cost 1. Movement. This spell affects all investigators and monsters in this neighborhood. Investigators lose 1 stamina, and monsters' toughness is reduced by 1. Monsters with 0 toughness are returned to the cup. And the other unique item he starts with is Milk of Shub-Niggurath. Movement. Discard Milk of Shub-Niggurath to move all non-spawn monsters in play to your current location. Then reduce your sanity to 0 and go insane. I assume that would only work in Arkham, but anyway. So, oh, and we got a skill as well. So, skill. Here we go. And we'll take a look at Luke's personal story once we get through this. Clairvoyant. Any phase, when making a check to close a gate, you may exhaust this card to reroll all dice showing a result of 1. On upkeep, this card does not refresh unless you spend all of your focus to do so. Alright. Luke's personal story. Walking through Arkham's drab streets, Luke was compelled by a memory. In this world, there was a friend, one of such ability that the coming storm could be avoided. But where to find this one? There were many doors in Arkham, and many of them led to unpleasant places, but Luke would visit them all and continue his search. Searching. If Luke has 3 or more gate trophies, place Found You in play. Fail. If there are 4 more Elder Signs in play, place Given Up for Lost in play. Now, I usually have a house rule with personal stories that if you bring an investigator in and it's already failed, you don't take the personal story. In this case, I'm going to, though. Given Up for Lost. The doors in Arkham were locked. Paths that Luke could once travel so easily were now closed to him. This half-remembered friend was nowhere to be found. Did such a person ever really exist? Or was he simply another dream? Luke can't gain any more allies. Hopefully we're near enough to the end of the game where that won't matter. But that will do it for Luke, who doesn't get any relationships, because he's a new investigator coming into the game. So we'll move over to Carolyn. Carolyn's got to roll for her bank loan first up. A 2, so she has to pay another $1 into that. She'll use her psychology to restore sanity to herself. And she's still red hot that Tony didn't get the job done with the Abyss when he had the chance. So she's going to go to the science building and start working on the Abyss to clean up his mess. Anyway, that will do it for Tony. Now let's move down to Rex. Or that will do it for Carolyn, I should say. Let's move down to Rex. Rex, okay, on upkeep, we gotta remember that Luke gains a clue token because he is the first player. So we'll get that for Luke. He'll go up to 2. Rex to... I was going to try to get him to the graveyard, but I can't get him there this turn. Actually, no, I can't get Carolyn to the Silver Twilight Lodge either. Actually, yes, I can get Rex to the graveyard. I can go north side, 2, 3. Yep, okay, never mind. I can get Rex there, but I need to bump his speed up to 4 to get him there. I'll work his lore up as well as we go, so use his other focus to do that. And that will do it for... Tony should have gotten $1 when Rex passed his personal story because they're business associates. That brings Tony up to $8. That will do it for Rex. Now let's move over to Tony. Tony is probably relieved that he and Carolyn swapped from the from the MYTHOS card because Carolyn was going to tear him apart, I'm sure. But Tony is going to move up to Arkham Asylum and recover his sanity, so he's got enough speed for that. And yeah, I think we're good there. So we'll move over to the board and see what Luke's doing for the movement phase. Luke's movement phase will be very uneventful. He'll stand up in the Dreamlands. That will do it for Luke. Now let's go pay Carolyn a visit. Carolyn will move 1 to Uptown Streets, 2 to Miskatonic University Streets, 3 to the Science Building. She'll go into the Abyss there. That will do it for Carolyn. Let's get across to Rex and Tony. Since we can encompass both Rex and Tony and their respective destinations in shot, we will. Start off with Rex, who'll move 1 to the Northside Streets, 2 to Merchant District, 3 to Rivertown Streets, and 4 to the Graveyard. And then Tony will move 1 to Northside Streets, 2 to Downtown Streets, 3 to Arkham Asylum. That will do it for Tony. That will do it for the movement phase. Now let's move into the Arkham Encounter phase. We'll skip over Luke because he's in the Dreamlands, and we'll move straight to Carolyn, who's at the Science Building. Carolyn won't be at the Science Building for long because she's going to the Abyss. That will do it for Carolyn. Now let's move down to Rex. Rex likewise won't be at the graveyard for long because he's moving to the Great Hall of Celiano. That will do it for Rex. Let's move over to Tony, whose encounter is actually going to be very simple. He's going to spend $2 to heal his sanity to full. So he'll be back up to 3 sanity. That will do it for Tony. That will do it for the Arkham Encounter phase. Now we're into the Otherworld phase. And we will start with Luke in the Dreamlands. We'll start off with Luke, who's over here in the Dreamlands. Any color will do for him on his Otherworld encounter. And we have a Dreamlands encounter. A thief attempts to rob you. Pass a sneak +0 check to notice him. His sneak is 2, so we get 2 dice. And we are going to end up failing. Do I want to spend the clue? Half your money and half your items and half your money. Gross. Well, I can't lose the gate box. No, I think this is fine. I think we'll fail this. So Luke will go down to $3. And then we'll lose the Milk of Shub-Niggurath. Alright, that will do it for Luke. Now we'll take a look at Carolyn, who needs a red or a blue card. Yellow, that won't work. Green, also no good. Green, still no good. Yellow, still no good. Red, here we go. And we don't have the Abyss, so nothing but emptiness, no encounter. Rex is in the Great Hall of Celiano, so he needs a blue or a green. Blue. Celiano. Pass a luck -1 check. Or the book is a prison. So we get 1 die, and it's a normal die. And we pass. Or the book is a prison. Fortunately, it's not a prison because we passed. Anyway, that will do it for the other world encounter phase. Now let's move back up top for the Mythos phase. We're back up top for the Mythos phase. Let's see what we've got here. Okay. So we start off with a Gate at the Unvisited Isle, which is also going to swallow a clue. I think that's the flat side. Normal gate again. We have Yuggoth. Circle gate -2, effectively -3 because of the lurker. So we have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 gates in play right now. Where did we say that was going? Unvisited Isle, which is going to eat a clue, which I'll put on the rumor. We'll need a Doom for Azathoth and a Reckoning card. We'll get the Doom out. Draw the monster. Oh boy. We get the skinless one. Red border means it's a fast monster. -2 to sneak past. It is a circle monster, so it's actually going to move 2 spaces if it moves. Mask. Okay, this shouldn't be in here. Never mind. That's a mask monster. Those only come up when Nyarlathotep is the ancient one that you're playing against. And, yeah. We're playing against Azathoth today. Serpent People. Okay. -2 to sneak past a moon monster. Black border. Magical resistance elusive. While Serpent People is a monster trophy, it may be spent after failing a combat check to add 3 bonus dice to the roll. Ooh. -1 or lose 2 sanity on the horror check. -2 on the combat check or lose 4 stamina. 1 health. Elusive, I gotta double check the keyword on elusive, but I think elusive means that it tries to stay away from you. I'll have to double check that. But anyway, we'll get the monster on there. Alright, that goes back to the Unvisited Isle, and now we have a Reckoning. An offer you can't refuse. The first player chooses an investigator. That investigator must take a dark pact if able. If they can't, if not able, that investigator is devoured. I'm going to choose Rex, who's going to take a bound ally. We saw Agnes with this earlier before she bit it. So the bound ally Rex gets is David Packard. +2 combat, +2 evade. Draw a skill when David joins you. Alright, and then the skill Rex draws is... +1 speed. When you spend a clue token to add to a speed check, add 1 bonus die. Okay, so we've got a couple skills there now to keep our eyes on. Alright, clue gets swallowed up. Moon moves on white, plus moves on black. I think the Serpent People is our only relevant monster for that. Yep, okay. Witch Burning Anniversary, headline. An ancient curse strikes Arkham, releasing 2 monsters into the Rivertown streets. Oh, fantastic. So we're about to hit up against the monster limit, but hopefully this won't be a problem. So our first monster up is a witch. -1 to sneak past. It is a, what is that, a circle monster? Yes, that is a circle monster. Magical resistance. She was lovely and terrible all at once. A strange light shone on her as she chanted, "Ya, ya, Shubni Gurath, the goat with 1,000 young." No horror check, surprisingly. -3 on the combat check or you lose 2 stamina, and you need 1 toughness to kill it. That's our first monster. And our second monster monster bag's back here. We get a zombie. +1 to try to sneak past. It's a moon monster. Undead. -1 on the horror check or you lose 1 sanity. -1 on the combat check or you lose 2 stamina. 1 toughness to kill it. She screamed and fired again, but still the thing shambled on, teeth dripping as it groaned its horrible cry. Okay. Alright, so that goes in the Rivertown streets. So we are almost to our monster limit, and we have most of our team in other worlds right now. But that will do it for this round. Our next lead investigator, how many cards do we have left in the deck? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10 cards in the deck. Our first investigator this round will be Carolyn, so we'll start into the upkeep phase. Here's Carolyn. Taking a look at the board, it's gotten crowded, but not quite uncomfortably so. Still, I do want to start try and close the game out quickly. And that handy-dandy little thing right there is going to be a big part of the reason. So I've got 3 gates that I'm looking at, that I've got investigators looking at right now. Barring something completely crazy, we should have the Abyss covered. So Carolyn will just be moving over to the second half of the Abyss. I will leave everything... I think we're going to bump her... I think we're going to bump her lore and luck a little bit. We're going to put her luck down to 4. Just to give her some room. And then on her upkeep, we'll use her psychology to heal herself for 1 sanity. So that'll bring her up to 4. Anyway, that will do it for Carolyn. Now let's go see what Rex is doing. Here's Rex. His turn is going to be similarly simple to Carolyn's. We're going to move him over to the second half of the Great Hall of Celiano. I'll leave his sliders as is as well, and we'll go pay a visit to Tony. Sending Tony to try to clear some of these monsters off the board is actually not a terrible idea. So I think we're going to plan on moving him down to the Rivertown streets and have him do a little monster hunting. So I'm going to move his fight and will down to 2 and 4. It's going to give me a little bit more will so I don't take too much sanity, hopefully. That will do it for Tony. Now let's move over and see what Luke's doing. Luke is moving to the second half of the Dreamlands on the movement phase. I don't want to touch his sliders right now, so we'll just leave everything as is. With that out of the way, on upkeep, Carolyn does gain a clue, so let me grab that. Up to 3. So, with that, we will move down to the board and see what everybody's doing. So let's start with Carolyn. Carolyn's movement phase, blink and you miss it. That will do it for Carolyn. She's over in the second half of the Abyss. Let's go see what Rex is doing. We've got Rex and Luke right here in shot in close other worlds. By the book, so Rex is moving now. By the book, everything Luke's going to be doing should be happening after Tony. But since I'm literally right here, I'm just going to go ahead and move Luke into the second half of the Dreamlands. So before you correct me in the comments that Tony should have gone before Luke, yes, I know that. But since I was right here, that's why I'm doing Luke right now. Besides, it's not going to be any different anyway. Anyway, speaking of that, let's move up and see what Tony's doing. Tony, your prey is waiting at the Rivertown streets, and we will need the dice tower for this. Let me bring that into... I'll bring that into shot where I want it in a second. Anyway, Tony will move 1 to downtown streets, 2 to easttown streets, and 3 to the Rivertown streets, and I'll move the dice tower to this side. We'll start off with the witch. As we recall, the witch is... The witch has no horror check and is magically resistant. Fortunately, we're using a Tommy gun to try to take it out. So we're at -3 on the combat check, where we lose 2 sanity, and we need 1 toughness to kill it. So coming over to Tony, we see that his fight is 2, the Tommy gun gives him 6 for a total of 8, -3 brings him down to 5, so we get 5 dice. We just need a single solitary success. Nothing crazy, please, Tony. You've already had enough to screw up this game. Wow. You need to work on your rolling, Tony, but that roll is enough to take out the witch, so we'll put that on Tony's player area. Now, because of his personal story fail, when Tony claims a monster trophy, he also gets a clue token, so we'll take this clue token and move it over to Tony. Then we'll take a look at the zombie. Like the witch, we're going to fight the zombie. It's undead, which... Let me get this moved here. Alright, we are -1 on the horror check, so his will is 4, which is part of why we bumped it up. -1 is 3, so I'll get these out of the way. I'll throw those in the cup. And Tony will pass his will check, his horror check, and then the combat check. So his fight's 2. Once again, the Tommy gun +6 gives him 8. And then, unlike before, the -1 brings him down to 7 dice. So 3, didn't mean to jar the camera there, and 7. Alright, Tony. Now, why couldn't you roll like that earlier when we were trying to close the Abyss? But anyway, the zombie becomes a monster trophy for Tony as well, which frees 2 of those up. And we get another clue token from his personal story. I still think that seems like a really good personal story fail under the circumstances, but anyway, that will do it for the movement phase. The Arkham encounter phase is going to be very, very short, because we have... Go through in order. Carolyn's in the Abyss, Rex is in the Great Hall of Celiano, Tony's in Rivertown Streets, so he doesn't have an encounter either, and Luke's in the Dreamlands. So, let's move into a phase that'll take much longer, the Otherworld encounter phase, and we'll start with Carolyn. Carolyn is in the Abyss, and once again, we need a red or a blue card. So let's see what we get here. Green, that's no good. Green, still no good. Red, and we have the Abyss. Oh. Actually, no, this will be fine, I think. Yeah, this will be fine. The Abyss. The phosphorescent fungus make this cavern appealing to rest a moment, but the toxic spores they emit prove dangerous. Make a will -1, 2 check, or lose 2 and 2. So looking at Carolyn, her sanity, her will is 3, -2 is 1. So, or no, -1 is 2, but we need both of these to be successes. And we lose 2 and 2 if we fail. Yeah, I don't think we can re-roll that into Oblivion, so we will lose 2 and 2, which will bring her down to 2 sanity and 1 health. Fortunately, the bad news is that right at the end of the game, Carolyn might end up having to go to the hospital, but we can still use the Elder Sign, even if it knocks us unconscious or drives us insane. So, anyway, that will do it for Carolyn. She will still be able to come out as scheduled next turn. That'll do it for Carolyn. Let's move over to Rex, who's up next in the Great Hall of Celiano. Alright, we have Rex and Luke to go. Rex will be up first. He's in the Great Hall of Celiano. We need a green or a blue. Yellow, that's no good. Blue, and we have other. You've completed your task, but now you must escape before the portal closes. Pass a speed -2 check to return to Arkham. If you fail, you are lost in time and space. In either event, you automatically close the gate you entered through. Uh-oh. Oh dear. So his speed is 4. -2 is 2. Alright. Let's not have the... Oh, great. Okay, so we are going to spend a clue. Spend his clue to reroll one of these dice. No. Okay, so that means Rex gets lost in time and space again. But the Great Hall of Celiano, let me read the card again, is closed. So yeah. Okay. So the Great Hall of Celiano is closed. That will do it for... That's not the way I wanted to close it, though. That'll do it for Rex. Luke is in the Dreamlands, so any color will work for him. Alright. We have other. You are beginning to understand the strange creatures here. Gain 1 clue token. Fantastic. Alright. So, on that note, that will do it for the Otherworld Encounter phase. Now, let's move back up top for the Mythos phase. We're back up top for the Mythos phase. Let's grab a card from the deck and see what happens. Okay, this kind of works. So we start off with a gate at the woods, except we don't get it because there's a blue seal of funkiness there. Clue appears at the Historical Society, so I will grab a clue and put it at the Historical Society. Then we have plus moving on white and moon moving on black. So those are both circles. That's a triangle. That's a moon, so that moves on black. That'll move down to Miskatonic University streets. And we get an Environment Urban card. The festival has begun. Cultists and Bayaki have their toughness increased by 1. So we have an Environment Mystic and an Environment Urban card in play. Anyway, that will do it for another round. Now we'll drop into another upkeep phase, and Rex will be our first player. Rex is our first player, but he is lost in time and space right now, and he's not really relevant to anything that's going to be happening this turn anyway. This is the turn where we're trying to close the game out. So anyway, I won't alter anything on Rex. We'll move over. Actually, on his upkeep phase, he does gain a clue. As I put a power in there, does gain a clue. Alright, that will do it for Rex. Let's move over to Tony next. Just to make sure I have as little go wrong as possible, I'm going to take Tony over to... I'm planning on taking Tony over to South Church this turn to get Luke blessed. So he has the best chance he's got to try to close his gate. Anyway, so he's got enough speed for that. He only needs 3 speed to get down to South Church, so we're fine there. That will do it for Tony. Speaking of Luke, let's pay him a visit. Everything is coming down to Luke here. So just to make sure I have absolutely the best chance I have, Luke is actually going to take a Soul Pact. And then he's going to exhaust it immediately, draining himself for 6 sanity, bringing him down to 1, and taking 6 power. As long as this game's gone on, and the potential danger of this slipping away from us, I don't want to take any chances at this point. So he's going to go get blessed. So he's going to get blessed from Tony this round, and then we should have the best chance to try to close the Dreamlands gate, even though it's a fairly easy gate. He's going to use his lore to try to close it, and he'll be rolling blessed dice, so he should have a pretty good shot at it. But that will do it for Luke. Let's move over to Carolyn. Carolyn was supposed to be our insurance policy this round. Thanks to Rex getting lost in time and space, she's now going to have to be the finisher for this. But she's got the Elder Sign ready to go. So she's going to use her psychology to heal herself for 1 sanity. But she's all ready to come out of the abyss. So the gate that caused us the most problems getting to this point is going to be our finisher from the looks of it. Anyway, that will do it for the upkeep phase. Let's move over to the board and start with Rex. Rex is getting really familiar with being lost in time and space, so all he can do during his turn is just stand up. So that will do it for Rex. Very uneventful turn lost in time and space. Then we'll move over to Tony. Here's Tony. His turn, we're going to move 1 to the French Hill Streets, 2 to Southside Streets, skipping over the Rumor, and 3 to South Church. That will do it for Tony. Now let's move down to our gate-ridden investigators. Here's Luke right here in shot. His journey won't take him far. It'll take him over to the Dreamlands. And we'll give him the Explored token. He won't have to deal with the Yithian this turn. That will do it for Luke. Now let's move over to Carolyn. Carolyn has a slightly longer journey in mind, but her destination is different. She's moving from the Abyss to the Science Building, and she's also getting an Explored token. Anyway, that will do it for the movement phase. Now let's go into what I hope will be the last Arkham encounter phase for the game. And we'll start with Rex. Arkham encounter phase? What Arkham encounter phase? Says Rex from God knows where, lost in time and space. He's not wrong, though. And moving into Tony next in the Arkham encounter phase, he's going to use the encounter on South Church. Blessing. Instead of having an encounter here, you may spend 5 toughness worth of monster trophies or 1 gate trophy to have any investigator become blessed. So we're going to discard his gate trophy for Plateau of Leng. So there's Plateau of Leng. That was a lurker gate we had earlier. That's going away. When we'll get Luke a blessing. So we'll put that by Luke, which means now he's rolling blessed dice. Now we have to see if we can finish the game, and we'll start with Luke. Okay, Luke, we've done almost everything here except load the dice, and even that was tempting the way we've been rolling today. Anyway, your lore is 4. That's a +1, effectively a 0 gate, so you get 4 blessed dice, and we have a bunch of rerolls if we need them. Let's hope we don't. You have got to be kidding me. All right, we'll spend a die for a spend a power for a reroll. Spend another power for a reroll. Actually, what am I doing? 2 of those shoulder 1, so I'm going to exhaust Clairvoyant. You have got to be kidding me. Okay, this is still... I still had spent a clue for a power, so this is that spent power die. Oh my god, Luke! Come on! I don't want to have to deal with this Yithian. There we go! Good grief! Alright, so the Dreamlands is closed, which means any slash monsters come off the board. He gets that as a gate trophy. So I don't think we have any slashes on the board. The Yithian is a triangle that I didn't want to deal with. We can lose that as well. The Bayakis are both circles. Okay. That will do it for Luke, finally. Now let's move up to Carolyn at the Abyss. I did forget also, I'll remember now, to actually spend the 5 clue tokens, including power, for a 5th Blue Seal of Funkiness. This is what we spent all that time working for. I was going to be damned if I was going to forget it. Carolyn will use her Elder Sign, spending 1 health and 1 sanity, which will knock her unconscious and send her to the hospital, where she'll end up taking she'll get healed to full, but she'll take an injury condition. But we do get to close the Abyss and seal it. But we do get to close the Abyss and seal it without a check whatsoever. And then that is our 6th and last Blue Seal of Funkiness. Which means, and for sake of completeness, we'll just go ahead and pull out the injury real quick that Carolyn would have. Carolyn would have ended up with consumption. -1 maximum stamina. If you ever gain another consumption card, you're devoured. Fortunately, that is no longer relevant for us because we have won. So now, we'll move back up top to wrap this video up. And with that, this game of Arkham Horror 2nd Edition has come to a close. You can see our 6 seals on the board. Up here at Independence Square, the Unnameable, the Science Building, which sealed the game, the Woods, the Witch House, and Luke and the Yithian are on top of the one at the Silver Twilight Lodge. Whew, this one was a monster. It started to get a little bit hairy there toward the end. The board was getting a little uncomfortably packed with monsters. We tried to keep the gates under control, which we obviously succeeded in doing here. But anyway, that will do it for this video. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well. In 2 weeks, I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to upload this. This is going to be a 2-part video. This will be the 2nd part you're hearing this in front of. So next week, we will be playing another new game on the channel. This time we'll be trying to assassinate Hitler in playing Black Orchestra. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you also turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with some more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.